Welcome to Heart to Heart podcast at Janelle Luk. I'm very honored and excited to invite one of my patients that we've known that I have known for so many years. I think close to a decade. We had 2 children together. I mean, not exactly together, but I helped my patient Katia to have 2 children, and I'm so excited to invite her to this podcast. And it's truly my honor to invite Katia to the podcast today. Before I start, I just also want to say Heart to Heart is a program that we started about right around COVID time, where I felt the city was very scary for many people. Actually, they were escaping the city. It was very lonely for some of my patients who was dealing with 2 things, the pandemic plus their own infertility. And I really wanted this podcast to explore each patient's journey, because it's really hard to share this kind of stories with your family, with their friends, private ones. And I want to have this story to share with my patients so they don't feel alone. And I know that some of my patients still watch some of these YouTube channels, and they feel like, wow, I didn't know some of your patients went through that. And they do feel there's a community out there for them. And once again, I'm very excited today to invite Katia, who is my longtime patient and now become a friend, to this podcast. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
So
I'm so honored.
I'm so excited because I was just right before we started podcast, I was like, how this moment come right here when I'm looking at you. Lots of memories. Like sometimes you hear flash. It's like movies. You see something, flashback comes. I'm like, wait, I do know you for a long time.
Yeah.
Because we had our first baby with Harper.
Yes.
And she's now
8 years old.
8 years old. So it has to be a while ago we met.
Yeah.
So I love usually to have patients introduce the story, how you found me first, 9-10 years ago, and how do we come to here today in February 2025. So go ahead, Katia.
So I just Googled best fertility, and your previous
Fertility
Center came up. I was reading so many good reviews on Dr. Luk, so I said, I want to go to Dr. Luk. And, I showed my husband, and he said, yeah, let's do it. So I came to you, and you gave me hopes. And you said that, before we start the IVF journey, let's check and, do trigger shots. And we started with the trigger shots.
And Katia, to give the audience a little bit, do you even have periods, or you don't have periods?
No, so I have PCOS.
Okay.
So I get a period maybe once a year or twice a year if I don't take anything. But, since I was trying to get pregnant, I didn't want to take anything. So we tried before just naturally, me and my husband, and nothing happened. So that's why I looked for help.
And in my memory also, you didn't really cycle that much.
No.
In a year, some days you may not even have a period. I mean,
Exactly.
I was worried more about your uterine health.
Exactly.
When patient with PCOS, usually have 3 criteria. One is totally not cycling, which fits yours. Did you have all the other criteria, which is high testosterone and means biochemically or hair? So
yes.
Were you dealing with sometimes losing hair?
No, I wasn't losing hair. I always had facial hair around my body, more than usual, more than.
And the third one I can attest to, which is the criteria. You don't have to have all 3, but third is lots of eggs on the ovaries.
Exactly.
But you don't ovulate.
Exactly. My sex were always full, but they never released.
That's right. That's right.
That's it.
And how long did you deal with that before you know there's an issue? Because not having period must be troublesome for you.
So I think I got my period when I was 11, and for the first 3-4 years it was regular. It used to come every month, and then it started getting less. For example, I'll get it 3 months, and then I'll get it in 6 months, And then I get it just once a year.
Mm.
And then I went to doctors back home in Europe because I was still in Europe when this happened.
And what country were you?
Malta.
Oh,
Malta.
is it warm in winter?
No, it's very cold.
Sorry.
But we don't have snow.
Oh,
Because
okay.
we're surrounded by water.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's very cold.
Okay.
And our houses are made of stone, so it keeps cold.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Anyway, so I went to a doctor and she told me, oh, you should start the pill. So you have it every month.
Okay.
And I said, okay. So I was having it every month. And
But those pills are not trying to get you pregnant. Those are just having your period.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Just having a period but not getting me pregnant.
Right.
But at that time, I wasn't looking to get pregnant.
Right. You were young at that point. What, 25, 26?
No, I was less. So I got it at 11, 12, 14, 15. It stopped.
Wow. Okay, sorry.
So, I started maybe 16, 17.
And so you keep on doing it
Exactly.
until you got married later in your 20s.
Exactly. Till I was 20. And then, I met my husband. We got married. We came here and we got married. And then after we got married, right away, we wanted children.
Right.
And we tried for a year or 2 years, and nothing was happening.
Right.
That's when I searched and I found Dr. Luk.
Yes, and I said, you're so young.
Yes.
I'm very hopeful. I don't think you need IVF. But because you're so young, we're going to do whatever we can to get you pregnant non-invasively.
Exactly.
And so we tried some pills, and at that point, there's new data, New England Journal of Medicine, and basically talk about letrozole or trigger shot.
Yeah.
So that was very I know it's not easy for any patients to come to me and do the monitoring, and then because, as you may remember, you don't sometimes respond to letrozole, sometimes you reduce it, but because of your resilience, we did the 5th cycle. You just told me, it reminded me that 4 to 5 months later, we got you pregnant, ultimately. And that was Harper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, when do we meet again at Generation Next?
So...
And how was the delivery, by the way, with the first baby?
First baby, it was a C-section. It was a nice C-section. Everything went well. She was born exactly on her due date, 40 weeks.
So very perfect.
Exactly.
You went home.
I went
3
home.
days.
Exactly. And I enjoyed every moment with my little one. Now she's not little anymore. She's 8 years old.
Yes. Did you breastfeed?
Yes.
Okay.
I breastfed as much as I could.
Okay.
I only could.
1 year?
2 months.
2 months. Okay.
I was such an under supplier.
Okay.
But at least those 2 months, I could give it to her.
Yeah. They said that too.
Exactly.
I didn't breastfeed a long time.
Even now, it's getting less, and she's only 2 months. So.
Okay.
But anyways, back to Harper. And when I had Harper, I always knew that I wanted more kids.
Okay.
She was such a good baby. She was such an easy baby.
She's doing very amazing.
Yeah. And I told my husband, when can we have another one? When can we have another one? He said, calm down. We have time. Let's enjoy her. Let's enjoy the moment of her being, so little. And then we'll think about it. So fast forward, I think maybe when she was 3, 4, we started trying again.
Okay. And that's when, did we already meet? That was during COVID?
That's when, exactly. That's when, before COVID. I started again 2019.
19, okay. Wow, time flies.
In August,
In August.
So...
You came back, I was very happy.
No, we started trying again just by ourselves.
Yourselves.
And then nothing was happening.
And your period is not coming back.
No.
There's no period.
No,
yeah.
no.
So you present to me again the same way.
Exactly.
But now you're a little bit older.
Exactly.
And we're okay to share your age. How old are you now?
32.
Yeah, 32. But then at that time, you were still very young. I was very hopeful. I mean, 28, 29.
20, exactly. 28, 29.
Yeah. So... Yeah. It was very young, so I was like, I'm still optimistic. I said, no problem. We'll repeat the before.
Exactly, and I'm very confident that what we did before, it's gonna work now.
How much was the weight gain? Anything changed with your weight gain and anything that happened? Do you think it's the same you Nothing really have changed.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just my age.
Just right.
I got a little over there. That's it.
Right. I said the same thing.
So,
I'm like, you're the same.
yeah,
We should able to
exactly.
get you pregnant the same way.
Exactly.
And
So
you're not that old.
Exactly. I still have PCOS. Nothing changed. I mean, again, I had to be on the pill again just to get a regular period. But so we started doing trigger shots.
That's now 2 years after you deliver baby, right? 1 year after, or
no. This was so Harper was born 2016, and this was 2019.
So 3 years later,
exactly.
which is perfect.
Almost 4 years. Yeah.
Okay.
And I came very confident to you again, thinking that, after maybe 4 trigger shots like we did for Harper,
yes,
that, I'm gonna be able to get pregnant.
That's right.
We did so many trigger shots, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening.
There were many months. It was literally 1 year. Right? I said with the 5th time.
Yeah.
So we went through that, and you even kind of spent COVID with me because I told you my little daughter was not good with the mask, and then you so sweet knit a mask for medicine. So I was like, oh my God, thank you, and I'm like, I need to get you pregnant,
Yeah.
So, but then I know there was also some restriction because your insurance only covers IUI and monitoring.
No, they didn't. I wasn't insured on IUI or IVF, nothing. So
you haven't sat with just do monitoring and timing the course.
And during those times, we had a lot of pregnancies, but ended up in miscarriages.
Yes, we also had a couple, I think 2.
No,
one was by
4 or 5
during the 2 years. Wow,
during more than 2 years.
3
from 2019 till 2000. No. So I came here 2019 till 2022, and then I was getting so. I needed a break. I needed a 1 year break because
Yeah. And also there was
hard.
Because and there was moment that I was like, because of your age, I was give you as long as you want.
Yes.
Because you also don't have insurance. I don't want you to spend so much money.
Yeah.
And then you and I talked. Ultimately, we had to.
Yeah.
But you did have a very late miscarriage. That was one of them, and we're like, I don't want you to go through this so many times.
Yes.
And you say, you know what, Luke, whatever the reasoning, you're not that old. But after a couple more years, and this is true for many patients, I always tell my audience is that PCOS shouldn't make you not be mommy. You can still have sex and get pregnant. But age and PCOS can affect.
Yeah.
It's like this synergy that you came to my office because of age and PCOS.
Yeah.
Usually not just one factor alone.
Mm-hmm.
And then now, what year we did IVF? Finally, after 3 years,
Last
4
year.
to 5 miscarriages with some biochemical pregnancy. Then we did it in 2024.
And so we started the process in January because on December 2023, I was looking at the insurance sent you the leaflet, what is going to be covered and what's not, and I see fertility, and right away I called wherever I had to call, and they said yes, you are insured, we can give you a full cycle, and if there's no births, there's no live pregnancies, we can give you another half a cycle. So we had hope again.
I want to tell you, I never, Katia, I didn't want to get you to IVF either.
Yeah.
As you know, I keep on saying, well, there's a danger here.
Yeah.
Because your ovaries are so many eggs.
Yeah.
Anytime I stimulate you, no matter what I do, you're going to have the risk of OHSS.
Yeah.
So I think this is where we go through the IVF. But I knew you're going to have lots of eggs. In my heart, I know you're going to have lots of embryos because of the age, unless your egg quality really dropped, wherever, either because of genetics or because of age. But you're not that, again, in the young 30s, is not that old. There's a young in the world of IVF.
Yeah.
So my hope was that it was either something wrong with the egg selection, how the egg was ovulating and didn't get the good egg. I know everyone's going to ask why. Well, eventually, let's say you never have insurance, when you look at life, when you look at certain Kaplan-Meier's curve or life analysis looking back at women with miscarriages when technology was not around. People do keep on having sex until they will keep on miscarrying, like they will until they get pregnant with the live birth. Yeah. So I do think you have that potential, but it's also but this is also in 2025, not 20th century. This is the 21st century where we have technology to eliminate some of the pain and burden, which is why people move on to IVF. And here, Katia, you want to share your whole IVF journey? I know the number of eggs and the embryos. Go ahead.
Yeah. So then in January 1st, I called you and I said, I can do IVF now. When can I come see you? And you said, okay, let's start. I came beginning of January, and then I think we started the whole process in February. We started with the shots and and then when the time came for the retrieval,
we
managed, very bloated. But we managed to retrieve 67 eggs.
Oh my God.
67
I
eggs.
want the audience to be like, what the heck? Dr. Luk is mild-stimulation, but we did get lots of eggs.
Yeah.
It was a lupron-only trigger. The worry, we said, is very hard to control.
Yeah.
But we're able to do it.
Yes.
And then we got many embryos.
Yeah.
Because half of them you can't use anyway. They're not
mature,
but we had to
matured,
get them to not have hyperstimulation.
Yeah.
So we have great surgeons, Dr. Haid. And,
yes.
So we're able to get you and recover the process. And I know it took you a couple of days, but you did good. Afterwards, I remember you every day you improve already.
Yes.
And I was just doing Instagram with my other patient, going the way to avoid any danger, causing her hazardous, life danger is giving something called a lupron-only trigger, and that's what we did.
Yeah.
And luckily she did respond. I know that's a caveat. That some people do not respond to the lupron-only trigger. And I think we may or may not have talked about it when I was triggering you because I was worried. But only 2% of people don't respond, but majority do. So 97, 98% people do respond to lupron trigger. And she did. So we got all the eggs we need, but she can never touch HCG. Anytime she had the Albuterol Novara, some of the audience are watching this may understand what Albuterol Novara was called HCG, she would be in the hospital. So she did not, because she did not use any of it. And then to recover, and then I think we just need to choose a good, nice embryo.
Exactly.
And then that's how we got Paisley. And that's how Paisley was born.
April 4th, we had the transfer, and I remember April 10th getting that phone call that
Yeah,
we did it.
We did it after 4 years of 3 years of time in the course, 1 IVF, and we got you pregnant. Actually get you pregnant. Not that being anyone who is in the young 30s and some story, but it is the high quantity of eggs that's so hard to control. I know it's not easy, and I heard something did happen at the delivery. I do want to talk a little bit quickly, not that it has anything to do with IVF, but you had a C-section scar. And that C-section scar was horizontal or vertical?
No, horizontal.
Okay, so
the first one was good. I had a very
easy C-section.
I had a very easy recovery. Every time the nurse would come next to me to give me pills, and she would tell me, what level is your pain? And I'm like, I'm not in pain. And she said, oh my God, you're the first patient that, is not complaining about pain after a C-section. And I told her, well, if I'm not in pain, I'm not going to say I'm in pain. It was so easy. But this time around, it was not what I was expecting.
So were you in active labor before you came to the hospital, or how did this... So were you planned C-section or you planned VBAC, which is vaginal delivery after C-section?
So my doctor said that I have a very narrow pelvic.
Okay.
So she won't be able to
No vaginal. Okay.
So she said, let's go straight away to C-section. So she was due on December 23rd, but we planned the C-section for December 18. But the little lady decided to come out on December 10th. So she broke my water at midnight. We went to the hospital.
Who broke your water?
The baby.
Oh. Yeah, I was like, what?
The baby broke the water.
Yeah, the baby broke the water.
Yeah, she was ready to come out. When I went to the hospital, unfortunately, my doctor wasn't on call, so I had to be with another doctor. And my doctor, before all this, when I was going to every appointment, she told me, you're not gonna be, there's no pushing for you. Let's go straight to C-section. And I was ready to go straight to a C-section. And I told this doctor, I can't push. We have to go straight to C-section. And then this doctor checked me and she told me, but you're here. Why don't you try pushing? Why don't you try pushing? So I just pushed 2 times and unfortunately they saw blood coming out. And they got a little bit anxious and they said, well, let's go straight to C-section. So, when she started opening me, she nicked my bladder right away. She said that, when I had the other C-section, maybe they put it a little bit higher than it's supposed to be. So, when she opened, she didn't think that it was going to be there. So she nicked it. And they found that my uterus was ruptured because I pushed.
How big was the uterus rupture? Was it big? You don't know, but it was open, yeah. Did you feel pain? Or you don't feel, because epidural, you didn't feel anything?
Well, the epidural wasn't working entirely, all of it. So everywhere was numb except here, from here to here.
Oh my God.
And I could still feel all the pain, but when I went for the C-section, whatever they did to me, I wasn't feeling any pain.
Okay.
So I was fine at that time. Even I called my mom and I spoke to her because my husband was holding the new baby, and I told her, Mom, I can talk to you right now. They're suing me up. And after when she hung up and she talked to my dad and she told him, oh my God, you know how she talked to me? She's so lively, even though she's during a C-section.
Yes.
Anyway, so back to the C-section. So they started my C-section at 5. The baby came out at 5:24, and they closed me at 8 a.m.
Got you. Okay.
Because we had to wait for the doctor to come fix my bladder, and
my God.
there wasn't anyone on call, so I had to wait all those hours open, waiting for him to come.
This is horrible.
Anyway, it was horrible. Since I had.
But you look great. I mean, you came to my
Thank
office
you.
ready with your beautiful gifts, and I was like, wow, how did you even have the moment to come? I'm so happy to see you with Paisley.
I couldn't wait to come and
to show
for you to meet the girls.
No, I'm so excited and so happy for you because lots of flashback. Even talking to you, this is such a nice gift. This is really why I do what I do. It's because of this moment.
Yeah.
I want to hear from you, as we're wrapping up this. And I'm so sorry I went through all this, but it's all worth it.
As long as my baby girl is healthy.
And you look healthy, and your bladder is all healed.
Yeah. It was a hard recovery, but thank God for my husband and for my mom.
They were there as your support team.
There,
I am telling all my friends, you need a support team.
Yes.
Everyone.
My mom came all the way from Europe for a month, and thank God for that month, and thank God for my mom.
With all the people who, audience out there who may or may not have PCOS or who may are going through the fertility journey, what do you want to share with them as your final moment?
Just never give up hope, and I'm sure your time will come. And even if you come and seek Dr. Luk's help, she's gonna do everything she can. I'm sure.
Yes.
Like she did to me.
Well, thank you.
I'm forever grateful for you and this clinic.
Thank you so much, Katia, for coming today.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Luk.
Oh my God, it is amazing. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Thank you, thank you, thank you.